Hi, this is Pantaluca. Welcome to DP2 Insights. In this video, I'm going to kind of continue our conversation about subject info, and I'm going to do that by going through this table and hopefully helping you understand a little bit more about why this is such a powerful tool in DP2. So in our last and kind of the basic subject info import video, we looked at how to bring this data into DP2. Once I have that data in DP2, it resides in what we call the subject info data table. And in this case, and what I want to reinforce, this is my chroma key data, which is called an info type. In this select order screen, I'm going to bring up the order data table. And you'll notice that the info type is specified as chroma key. I also specified that when I brought the data into DP2 in the subject info processing window. This particular table is based on the definition around what fields are in it, and it's a window in DP2 into how you want to use that information. So in this case, it's got order ID, subject ID, and so on. These are the two primary keys. DP2 has primary keys in every table. So in this case, I've got some of the basic things that we see in school orders, but this particular definition includes background 1, background 2, background 3, and then the product and quantity pair fields that we would see in a normal subject info data table. The power of this is that either manually, which is what I'm showing you, or semi-automatically, when I select these, I can simply say create order items in DP2. Matter of fact, just for the purposes of discussion, I'll only select a couple of these rows. I can say create order items. DP2 is going to specify that. And DP2 in the background will go ahead and process and create the order items for the records that I've selected. You could have selected them all. In order to make that happen and to have DP2 understand which backgrounds go where and so on, I need to populate these fields in a particular way. So I'm going to go ahead and using the Actions button, I'm going to select the entry called ID Product Columns. What this allows me to do is tell DP2 exactly how I want the fields that I have created when I created this subject info data table, what they're going to do. So you can see that I have background 1 specified as a customer background ID. I could have specified it as a DP2 background, but I'm going to need a way in the chroma key workflow to let DP2 know what goes where. Background 2, same thing. Background 3. Once you've specified a particular field in the subject information data table, it does require you then to tell DP2, remind DP2, if you will, what P1 is, right, and what P2 is, and define those quantities. So you can see that what I've done here is P1 is a product of a DP2 product quantity pair. One of them is product, the ones below it will be the quantity of that pair. So in this case, I have the product. I just said it's a product. Same thing for P2, P3, and P4. When it comes to the quantity pair, now mine match, right, Q1 and P1, but that might not be the case in your lab depending on where your information is coming from. So I'm going to tell DP2 that Q1 is a quantity of a DP2 product quantity pair, and it is the quantity for P1, and so on for the rest of them. That's an important part of, especially if you have custom tables or the tables are coming in from other applications and you have other fields. This is a way that you can automate how DP2 creates products and jobs or order items. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. I want to just highlight a couple of other things if you're not familiar with this. The first is your ability to bring up images. If you have one image selected, it's going to bring up the related record, but you can go ahead and select all so you can see the rest of it. You can duplicate rows if you need to, create order items, as I said. You can sort given a certain type of criteria. These are all the sorts I have. So team and league obviously isn't going to make sense for this particular table, but it does show me that sort. I can change a field. So if I have a field, say as an example, my background, which in this case is the ID cards, I could change that value or populate that value throughout, which is actually what I did when I set up this table. In addition, I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. In addition, in the actions menu, there's a couple of things that I do want to point out that can be important in terms of data handling. The first is the ability to reload the data using a sort or a restriction. So if you want to see where the teachers are, so as an example, if I want to see the teachers, right, I want to see grade homeroom, or I just want to see the students or grade teacher, DP2 is going to show me that data based on the teacher. So it's going to reorganize it so that I can see that information. And it can be important if you have hundreds of records and you want to be able to see it in terms of duplicates, subjects with more than one image, and so on. You can ignore the rejected. Some of these are pretty typical. You can find all for an order. You can find all with no image if you, say, as an example, happen to be using the absentee macro. In composites, you can select subjects, so on. You can create images for subjects with no images. This is, in some labs, there is the need to create products that output certain types of data. And if you have any experience in DP2, you know that we used to have to hide a subject or an order image behind that data and so on if we wanted something before and after an order and so on. There are products where you can create images for subjects with no images that will allow you to populate those same types of products even if you don't have the child's image, or if you wanted to say, except for example, create a raffle ticket. Yeah, it gives you a little gray box and you could create it. You'd still have that subject ID and image match so that the subject information data will work as expected, but you don't actually have to have an image to do it or a child image to do it with. You can set subject ID and so on. So this is the kind of an important set of right-click menu items to familiarize yourself with, especially if you are manually entering data or you are responsible for updating and adding data into a subject information data table. Thank you.